Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Miami Minutes. It's the podcast that's the best at talking about Miami Connection at least 1 minute at a time. I can't claim that we're the best podcast to talk about it ever in general.
Oh, come on, we blatantly are. Who else has done it?
Many I can think of, but, not minute by minute is the
That's
point.
what I mean. Nobody's done it like this.
No. We could think. Now we might find out. No, there is. There's the rival there, and they're also bikers, so they've got that edge on us. They just cruise around the streets of Florida, biking and podcasting at the same time.
Well, if anybody has done another one of these, get in touch with us, and there's going to be a rumble.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
I was going to hearken to next minute where we meet with the we'll get to that. That's next week. We'll get to that next week. But this week we are here to talk about minute 45 of Miami Connection. Actually, no, I don't think I said I am one of the hosts, Niall Gann.
I am your other host, John Parker, here to, help bring the show to you that keeps people together.
Yeah. And this minute opens with another trip to Zipadelphia, and it ends a minute later with some ominous origami.
Zipadelphia.
I'm sure we did talk about it a lot last week, but as soon as the opening shot of this, I was like, whoa, that's an outfit. Mark's got I think I've forgotten about it since I made my notes last week.
No, we did, yeah. It was only a week ago, but we talked about it because I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was very Clash with the zips on.
Yeah.
But then I suppose I was going to say you could call it a bit fetishy, but then punk clothes were often based on fetish.
Yeah, it's low key, like it kind of reminds me a bit of Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman with the tight black. She's in like rubber or like a kind of vinyl, but then all the white stitching was all very zip reminiscent. I think the thing is everything about that Catwoman outfit was fetishy, so I'm certain that's part of what they were going for as well.
Grandmaster YK Kim is Catman.
Catman is a character.
I know, but I only found out 2 days ago.
Really?
Because I jokingly said Catman and then Googled it. It was like, oh my God, it's a character. What the fuck?
You got 80 years of DC Comics. Of course, the made through line have been like Catwoman, Catman. It's just like, there you go. That's a thing we can do.
He didn't seem quite as kinky.
There's also a guy. There's Hellcat as well.
Oh, that's cool.
But he's like an old pugilist. He's like an old boxer. Every time you see Hellcat, like I think one of the storylines that he taught like Batgirl how to fight and stuff. But it's weird because he's like an old time like 1950s boxer, like a real like old school Kid Mo kind of guy. But the thing is that his superhero outfit is just like ridiculous because it's just like it's a giant burly man in a cat outfit, and it's like
that sounds amazing. What are you talking about?
But he has the kind of thing of like he calls him Hellcat because he's like it's the Zappin' Hellcats, that kind of old school slang. But then also at the same time, it's like, I don't know, man. It's so skin tight, the outfit and stuff. It's like, it's a bit of a weird juxtaposition to go from. But at the same time, I guess, a lot of old boxer guys might have been thinking a bit of camp as well.
Maybe he's a bear,
It could be a bear. He could be a bear. But,
into his leather and, leather and pleather and plastics and all kinds of wear.
Yeah, that was part of the way to a song right there, John. So.
It's my newest hit.
But yeah, so we go in here though for the aftermath of like, Uncle Song's left all these broken bodies piled up outside somewhere, and the guys are still enthusiastic about this, and even Angelo does like a little, almost like a borderline like Tourette's kind of thing. So he has this little like this play fight move, but it's so quick and so jittery. It's as if he was gonna do like a little play punch, and then he's like, "Oh wait, no! If I do that, Uncle Song might literally kill me." So
he can't help but react. He just like, ah!
It's gonna be like, I'll throw him a little play jab, and he's like, "Oh Christ, no!" just in case. So it just comes across like like an involuntary like spasm in his body or something.
These boys, though, they are bigging up Big Uncle, aren't they? They're just like, oh, you're the coolest motherfucker in the world.
Yeah.
In fact, I couldn't make out what one of them said. I had to put the subs on, which is, you took him on all by yourself.
There's a couple lines in this, and next minute I just couldn't make out either. It's not just from YK, but even just the rest of the cast. Sometimes they're just like, wasn't a lot of enunciation going on in this shoot.
You know what? I do. I don't know. Maybe some people feel different. I do appreciate that the subs don't bother with everything that's being uttered. They just go, you know what? We're going to give you the gist. So it gives you this one important bit. You don't need all the other crap. It's fine. They're all talking over each other. It's like Sunny.
Yeah.
Because I imagine, say, if you need subs, if you're deaf, that might actually be helpful. Because if you're trying to keep up with fast-paced banter, it's going to be moving too quickly.
Yeah. There
is the other approach where I've seen some subtitles. It's often with when they come from foreign countries. They'll be in different parts of the screen.
Yeah,
that's quite interesting.
That's what I remember way back with what did they call it? Was that were they French vampire movies? Those day watch and night watch.
Oh no, Russian. They're fucking great. Yeah.
But I remember they used to do like little things like, someone would have like a nosebleed in a swimming pool and then the blood would come out and then that would form into the subtitles and stuff. Like they got really creative with it. Like it was
I thought they were the best subs I've ever seen. Like they were animated. They'd sometimes like do things like, oh, it's on fire now. All crazy shit that adds to the movie.
So I remember at the time thinking that's like 2005 when that came out. So I was like, this is the way subtitles are gonna be in the future. And now they're just back to no. Let's not try to jazz them up at all. Just bog standard. That's all people need.
I could understand in some movies it might be distracting, but it really fit the tone of those films. It added to the whole. I could imagine it really working in like Blade.
Yeah,
not just because it's a vampire movie.
I could also imagine it working in Nosferatu.
Interview with a vampire.
Coincidentally, also Bram Stoker's Dracula.
No, I think tonally, it would make sense. Whereas Bram Stoker's Dracula, I wouldn't fit the tone.
I don't know. I can imagine that putting some kind of medieval style things over the top.
A ridiculous font you can't read.
Oh yeah, properly. Like every time, Jonathan Harker's. That'll be the thing then. Like Jonathan Harker's is all in like scribbled, quill written pen, and you can't make out what the hell he's saying. So it just clashes even more with Keanu Reeves' terrible English accent and stuff.
No, that would actually be great because I know we're already off topic. I don't care. I played a video game last Christmas, as of recording, Pentiment. I think I've brought it up before on one of our shows, where it's set in like Renaissance Germany, and there's no voice acting. It's it's like a smaller title, and the different characters have different fonts based upon their like social standing. So the people from the church will have a font like you'd see in the Bible. Back then. It's like very script kind of thing. The poor people, it'll be more of a scroll. There's all kinds of different, for all the different characters. I thought that was really cool. That was a really unique way of doing it. But it did make some of the church people, some of it was a bit hard to read. Because you could even turn on, those weird S's that look like F's from like medieval times. Yeah. You could turn that on if you wanted. It was an option. And at first I did put it on and I was like, oh no, this is weird.
And it is a kind of standard thing that happens in comic books all the time as well. You'll get like stylized, like one of the big ones, like you're saying, having trouble reading some of them. Particularly when I was a lot younger, reading The Sandman, because he, like Morpheus as a character, he's very distinctive. Speech bubbles. So it's always in black with white text and a kind of like wavy outline. So watching the TV show and not having that black text around him all the time was distracting. I was like, oh, I'm so used to it. And then the fact that he sounded so normal, I was like, those speech bubbles seem to indicate that like he had a very distinct kind of voice and stuff. But then also there's in one of the big story arcs, which I believe has been adapted in the next season, Season of Mists. There's 2 angels in it, and all their stuff was written in like biro, like what do you call it? The joint writing, like well,
what's the actual name? See, listeners, over here, I don't know about in Ireland. Over here, when you're a kid, they just call it joined up writing. Yeah, it's actually cursive.
Cursive, yeah. That was again. It was another thing. I had heard that, but from The Simpsons. So much like so many things in my life, I only know about it from The Simpsons. But yeah, and then I got to read it now, reread Seasons of the Mist. I was like, all right, but even now I'd have to be like, okay, you have to slow down to kind of take in what these guys are saying. And when I was a kid, I was just like, no, I can't read this. I'm getting the gist of what they're saying, and then just move on.
That's all you need to know. Maybe they should have added a little Easter egg of the Morpheus character that you mentioned before, where if you put the subs on, his subs are done this way.
They should be doing a lot more with subtitles, considering too, like, not only did you have, like, hard of hearing viewers, but also like I put the subtitles up for everything now on Prime and Netflix and stuff, and a lot of other people do as well. So
it's become almost a meme of like, Gen Z always have the subs on.
Yeah, they always have that thing of like people going like, "That's my subtitles. I can't read with my precious subtitles." And it's people who are perfectly functional 30 something year olds, but it's just like, just nowadays I'm not going deaf, but it's just like I'll be watching something, it's like I didn't catch that. What? Sorry, what was it? But wait. But the subtitles are there. It's like, oh, you can't miss it. That's great.
I have the problem of I read so fast because I was always a big reader as a kid. I'm not so much these days. I read so fast though it kind of ruins punchlines and things because I'm just like.
Oh no, I think it's terrible for comedy shows.
Yeah,
because it always comes up first, and your eyes are just instantly drawn, so it's something like. The joke that's coming a split second before it lands. Yeah. So you're like, and it's, the thing can still be funny, but it's a bit like, I knew what the punchline was going to be because I saw it right there. Literally, my brain processed it before the actor got it out of his mouth, kind of thing.
So the point is, I can't remember what the point was.
The point is, they should have subtitles in Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula, and it's like every time Gary Oldman speaks, the more dramatic he gets, the larger the subtitles gets. And so they start to drip blood and stuff. So he's like, "It is no laughing matter." And just takes up the entire screen for a second.
Now, I think the original... That's amazing. I think the original point was just, I read the subs to see what they said. Yeah. But then you get Uncle Song dispensing some genuinely good wisdom. Right, but it's also kind of hard to see how what he says relates to what we've just witnessed.
Well, the thing you say is genuinely good wisdom. I don't really think he goes into anything beyond sort of a bit of surface level.
Oh, it's surface level.
Yeah, it's all the same stuff you hear about, like any kind of martial arts. It's like, it's not just about the hands and the fists. It's not about the fists and the feet. It's about what's in here and what's in here. And you're like, can you extrapolate on that? Well, no. It's like a way of life. You're like, such as, like, and how is it a way of life? It's like, it keeps people together. Like, how does it keep people together? You just keep saying these things. Like the same things that Mr. Miyagi always said about karate as well. And he never explained what he meant by that either.
I always felt the same about Star Wars with the Force when they're like, reach out. They did it in The Last Jedi where he's like, no, reach out with your feelings. What does that mean? How do you do that? I need to be taught how you do that.
Yeah.
Reach out with your feelings.
Yeah, and Luke himself taking the piss out of it by like getting a little leaf and like rubbing Rey's fingers and being like, "Oh, can you feel it? That's the Force right there." Yeah.
It's absurd. It's absurd. But okay, I agree. It's surface level, but it's good wisdom at the same time. It's like it's not about the fighting. It's about the mind, it's about the heart, it's about the spirit, things like that.
Yeah.
But how does that relate to us just watching him kick the shit out of people? Like, is it supposed to be saying how, he only used it as the last resort when he was provoked?
Yeah. I think it may be because they're coming in all like, wasn't it cool that you kicked these guys' asses? And he seems to be genuinely kind of remorseful about the whole thing.
Yeah, he didn't want to do it.
So it's more him going like, it's not about that. Like that's the flashy stuff you just saw there. I don't consider that part of the main part of Taekwondo. I'm here to tell you now, forget about that. The main part of it is these base level platitudes that I'm about to tell you, and you guys will be like, okay, like I guess so. But
well, you know what I would do? Maybe I'm not saying I'm a great writer or anything, but maybe if this movie had a slightly better script, in a technical sense, it would have had him here sort of chastising them for their attitude a little bit, not like in a mean way, in a teacher kind of a way of like, no, you've got it all wrong. Like, it wasn't cool.
Yeah. Be very Splinter in that way, I think.
Yes.
Really.
Oh, he is the Splinter and they're the Turtles.
Yeah, totally. So I guess that would mean Mark is the Leonardo, I guess.
Mark is 100% a Leonardo. Look at him.
And then who would be the Donatello? Who would that be? I guess John would be the Raph because he's the angry one. It depends which version of the... Because our minds, as people of our generation, would go to, like, oh, the Turtles, Raphael is crude but rude.
Oh, I am thinking of the cartoon.
Yeah, so he's going to be, like, the Yakko Warner smartass, whereas, like, in every other iteration of the Turtles, Raph is, like, the angry, headstrong one who's just fighting with everyone all the time. So I get, I think John's a little more quick to anger in this film, so I'll consider him the other Raph, you know.
Yeah, I mean, appearance. If you just went off appearance, I'd say, well, he's the Donatello. Look at him, he's a nerd. But the personality, no.
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
I think Jack Diamond or Joe Diamond.
Whatever you want, baby.
I think he'd be the Donatello because he had the kind of dorky idea to like, we'll take our band on a tour around the world to our home country. He's like, that seems like a kind of like it's kind of a nerdy idea, you know.
It's only going to be between him and Jim. No one else is Don. You know?
Yeah. Well, unless you want, because then Jim does do the keyboards, so. That's like doing machines, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. That's a machine.
Yeah,
and he's got a kind of geeky quality himself as well. I guess you could say. This is tough, actually. I mean, you could say Tom is maybe the Michelangelo.
Oh, I'd say he's the Michelangelo, totally.
Yeah, because he's a bit goofy, he's a bit silly, he's a bit cheeky.
He's got these party in the back right there. He's a party dude. And plus, we already saw him like out goofing around on the beach, running after ladies and stuff like that.
Yeah, partying with chicks. Yeah, that's a Mike kind of move.
Yeah, I don't know. We've never seen Michelangelo sexually harass women on the beasts. to my knowledge, I haven't gone back through all the Turtles material. But he does strike me, if any of them were going to do it, it'll be him.
Exactly. But then again, is he into human ladies?
I think he was into April in a big way, wasn't he? Like I was always.
I could never tell if that was sexual or not. Plus, it's a kids thing, so it's like, well, even if it's supposed to be, it's like, well, we can't really mention it too much.
Oh, I started rewatching Gargoyles for the first time in 30 years or whatever. But now it's on Disney Plus. So you know what? I'm trying to bring back Saturday morning cartoons into my life. So I was like, I'm putting on some cartoons on the Saturday morning just to sort of, for a nostalgic kind of vibe. And one of them was like, well, all of Gargoyles is on Disney Plus, so I'll go through that again. And within 30 seconds of meeting, like, the lady cop in it, who's like, her and Goliath, the main gargoyle, sexual chemistry like that. Like, within seconds of meeting each other, it's like, oh, she wants to bang this gargoyle. And this gargoyle is like, all right. And I don't know, no spoilers. I don't know if they do hook up throughout the show, but I will not be surprised if within the season that they're banging.
Well, a gargoyle stays stiff all night long.
Yeah, but all day long, technically. He only comes out at night. That's the nights when he's floppy. He's as stiff as a rock throughout the day. So.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I suppose, obviously, Jane's got to be April.
Yeah, of course. She does. She has the April hair and everything, too, like the classic 80s April hair, so...
I guess Yoshito's Shredder. So what does that make Jeff?
The Rat King?
Yeah, but that's going to be a tough one, actually, figuring out who he is. Because he's not a sidekick like a Bebop.
Unless you wanted to make him, it's like Yoshito's the Krang. And then Jeff would be Shredder in that, like, oh, Yoshito's like the big bad. As Krang was like the big bad hanging out in the Technodrome, and he sent Shredder to do his bidding. And then they always squabble all the time. We know that Yoshito and Jeff are just like it's just Yoshito throwing himself at Jeff all the time, and Jeff and like, back away, not today, Yoshito baby. But I can imagine more of that kind of thing, where it's like Jeff's more of a man of action, like Shredder was always a man of action. And then Shredder, he also, like in the movie, remember he was the one running the weird orphan runaway teen.
That's true. That's true. Actually, I forgot about that. Yeah. So yeah, okay.
And he's just hanging out amongst them. So that's kind of like that's like Jeff's gym. We get to see again next minute. Like,
wait, why did we not call it Jeff's gym when we were in the first? Jesus Christ, it writes itself.
I'm not too sure if it was entirely sure that next minute it will be very clear that it's Jeff's gym. I think we had previously gone like it could be a gym that Jeff's just hanging out in. Like we didn't really see that it was his. It kind of took it like, oh yeah, that's where he has his base of operations, and like they go and hang out there from time to time. But he kind of appeared out of nowhere as if like he could have been doing whatever. But the next minute, it's very apparent like, no, he clearly runs the place,
Yeah.
So,
but is it Jeff's Gym with G's or with J's?
Oh, I'm sticking with his name is spelled Geoff, like, because everyone else has a J name, so he has to be like, in order to be the point of contention. Jeff has to. It's always Jeff with a G for me.
Edit the wiki to put that.
Oh, totally. Actually, yeah, I might do it after we're done here. Go into like IMDb Pro, sign up, I have to pay like $30 or whatever.
Hey, you get a free trial.
Oh no, I think I used my free trial. This past season on Batminute to get Chelsea Stardust's contact details.
Cool. I'll give it a try for Hedwig, and I'll try and send YK Kim another message this way.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if it's him with IMDb.
He's on there.
I mean, well, I don't know how many. I was some of the only people really contact him for like documentaries about Miami Connection, probably, but
you never know. I mean, I imagine he has to have a manager.
I guess
as
so.
weird as that sounds, to organize appearing at festivals and shit they always go to.
I don't think he's like Greg and Tommy, where it's like, this is the career now, like just touring the thing.
No, he does his book more, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he's still very much more like, I am professional taekwondo guy with my own chain of taekwondo dojos and stuff like.
That's Greg Sestero on the show.
We should. We actually should. He might be like, thank Christ, yes, I'd love to talk about any other film. But I
might sell it to him that way. I'll try.
Yeah, actually, but why not just go even for Batman? It'd be like, yes, I know you have nothing to do with Mask of the. I'd have to bump someone, but just be like, saying to someone, you're getting bumped for Greg Sestero, will be like, fair enough.
Yeah, you can't argue with that. It's basically like Tom Cruise.
Yeah, just be like, I know you have nothing to do with this, but you might also want to talk about a different film for once. So.
But right, back to this. So I think we've pretty much hit on all the main turtles there, haven't we? We've assigned someone to each of these now. Well, actually, no, we were kind of torn. I suppose we've got one extra guy.
Yeah. I guess he could be Venus, the live action turtle from that 90s TV show.
Oh my god, I forgot about them. And the comics at the moment have a new turtle.
I think they chop and change in new turtles all the time these days, don't they? But,
hang on. Here we go. She is a member of the crew. The fifth turtle, Jenica.
Jenica?
Yeah. I like the character from the comics I've read. I hate the name.
Yeah, it's a terrible name.
Unless is that an artist? I don't know that name, whereas I know all of the others. Let's see. Jenica. TMNTpedia. Also known as Jenny. She was the ninja tune-in of the Foot Clan. They turn it good. Surprise, surprise.
I mean, if Jenica was an artist, I'd be like, oh, the world doesn't remember her because the name was that terrible. That people are like, nope, it's refused, collectively refused to adopt this into the lexicon.
Right, here we go. One of the few turtles who is female. Yes, okay. Height confirmed. I don't care.
Jenica height confirmed.
Right, in the trivia, not one mention of where the name comes from.
Oh, wow.
Which is surely the most important thing to put in the trivia.
Yeah. I do remember they had that, what do they call it, like, Out of the Ooze? Or there was the terrible mid-90s live-action turtle show when like the brand was dying a death.
I think I had it.
Yeah, I think it was only like a one-season thing. And I remember, that one of the big sells was they had a girl turtle who arrived. Her name was Venus. And
that's a much better name.
And then I remember always been annoyed because you just had like another blue mask. And it's like, but Leonardo's got the blue mask. Like, there are other colors, like.
Yeah, and I understand you don't want to do pink. It's like, okay, yeah. Jenica's got yellow.
Yeah, there you go. I was going to say yellow, or I don't know, just any variation, but just blue. Just like Leonardo could be like, well, you're still my thing. Like, what the hell? But are you trying to take over the turtles now or whatever? But
maybe that was the story and we've forgotten.
I don't think it's worth for everything I've heard about it. Like I remember at the time as a kid been like, oh, this is a bit bad. Like at that age, you're just like, I'd accept anything turtles, but then being like this isn't so hot. And everything I've heard about since are people like, yeah, it's lost media now. Like you can't get any high def footage of it because no one's bothered to remaster it because everyone just wants to forget that it happened. So
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, I think what was it called? Out of the TM.
Out of the use sounds familiar.
Venus. See, that might be an easier way to get to it. Oh no, it's called Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation.
Oh,
so which makes
is
more
referring
sense.
to her.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to Turtles Cast.
Yeah. I mean, it's back in relevance again. You got a new film coming. Well, actually no, because we're like right up to the wire with a lot of recording now. So the movie will be coming out like now, I guess, when people listen to this. So
It will. But here in the minute, he said that line we talked about. Taekwondo is not just kicking and punching; it is right here, points at his heart, and right here, points at his head. And Mark agrees, doesn't he? He understands his master has trained him well. I like our theory that it's his master.
This whole thing, though, really struck me as like, because I don't think we see Uncle Song again the rest of the movie. I'm pretty sure.
As far as I'm aware, he's gone from this point on. Basically,
yeah. There's no they don't come back to find the place trash and him dying or anything like that. I don't think.
I know this sounds harsh, but wouldn't that have been the character to kill off?
Yeah, that seems like a thing. Like I don't know if it's such a kind of action movie cliche to be like, does that happen? Because I don't remember that, but it feels like that also could happen. So, but like, and then what this whole scene was setting up was like, yeah, he attacked those guys, and then they came back full tilts, and that was the point of the scene.
Yeah.
But it's this whole knowing then that like Uncle Song was also the director who then cleared off back to Korea, and Mark had to take over for him. This movie almost is like a little this minute is like a little microcosm of that happening. Because he's midway through a thing, and then it looks as if they've dubbed in him saying, Mark, and then it just hard cuts. So then YK Kim can do ADR, whereas it was as if, like, on set, the take was that bad that YK Kim was like, all right, cut it, print it, no, track it. That one's gone. I'll do it myself.
I'll fix this movie.
Yeah, they actually had like a lengthy 10-minute tirade from Uncle Song here, and then they're like, he's like, YK Kim in reality was like, okay, I'm taking over this thing. Jesus Christ, someone has to steer this ship. And Mark is also like, all right, I'm gonna land this monologue because otherwise this could go on all damn night with the amount of retakes we're having to do. So.
I do like his monologue though; it's pretty cool. Although it's interesting how he's delivering these inspiring words, Mark, and we are seeing shots of the band goofing around on stage, doing moves. Because on one hand, I'm not sure if this is like treating the martial art with the respect that they're talking about. But then again, on the other hand, it's bringing the discipline to a new audience, which is a positive thing. So it's like, well, I don't know, though. It seems a bit odd to just use it for a goof.
Yeah. I think you're saying like it's not all about the fists and the feet as well. And it cuts to him immediately showing off fancy footwork on stage. Also, play kicking John and Jane. It's like, Taekwondo knows no sexism. It's like, I'll kick Jane's teeth in as quickly as I'd kick at any man's, let me tell you.
Oh, you're a woman? Mark will still batter you. Don't worry.
He saw that bit in Batman Returns with Catwoman. That how could you? I'm a woman, and then went in for the kill. And he's like, never me.
I'm going to retract that. I'm sure YK Kim would not like to hit women unless it was like in a demonstration.
Like unless he was making an example of them. Yeah.
Unless they've stepped out of line.
Yeah. You stand up in front of a cold class and you make a point of beating up a woman in front of everybody, so they know what's what.
Oh my God, listeners, we are joking.
But so for a while though, because he goes in all the the little play kicks to Jim hardcore, and then he does like a slightly less deft version of the classic Taekwondo move.
Yeah, Taekwondo.
He literally has to like slather his foot down Jim's face, like quite slowly, in order to hook the nose. It feels like You did it way swankier than that last time. I was like a real just shut up and just you had it already. But this feels more like
this is live. This is in the moment, you know.
Yeah, it just makes me feel really bad for Jim because it's just like it's bad enough having your guy's toes around your nose, but then that was like, oh, he stuck his whole foot in my face and just like wiped his feet with my visage. What the hell? Like,
maybe if he is feeling disrespected that day, that's when he wipes his foot all over your face. Like, oh, God damn it! Oh. You should have listened to me earlier.
Do you know how many other noses he's had these toes touch?
Oh, you could pass on diseases.
No, totally. Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Toe transmitted disease.
Maybe at the end, Jim in the hospital is like, he would have survived, but he had some bizarre foot fungal thing on his face. I don't know how it got there. Like, who the hell was slathering their foot on his face for lengthy periods of time?
We've never seen these kind of growths on the nostrils before.
That's why Jim's dad's there to be like, Mark, was it you? I vow vengeance. And that's setting up Miami Connection. Not 2. I think we already had Miami Connection 2.
3.
6, I think we're at this point. We're like, it's like, oh, no, you put a pin in that one. Jim's dad will return in Miami Connection 6, powdered wigs and...
You could do it like, Fast and Furious, like Miami Connection 6, they actually end up in London.
Yeah, totally. Or wherever Jim's dad was. He goes back. They have to actually track him down.
That's a good point. Like, this is a spoiler, I suppose, but when he does enter the movie, do we ever find out where he's been the entire time?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I think he's just like, he was up in that plane for the last 10 years. And then again, they managed to drag him down. Finally, like they got landing clearance. Finally,
no, I think he was. He was just out buying cigarettes. The queue was really long.
Well, but yeah, because then part of the whole the monologue is like, oh yeah, Taekwondo helps us stick together. And then I was like, is he literally talking about Taekwondo though? Because then the fact he's literally got his foot fused with Jim's face. It's like, is Taekwondo about creating some sort of human centipede where it's just like, yeah, stick everybody together. So like, toe to nose, hand up someone's ass crack, like, and then everyone join into like one big kind of massive writhing chain of people. That is the Taekwondo way.
I thought it was just going to be everybody connected foot to toe.
He specifically says it helps dragon sound stick together. So maybe he's creating like a dragon, like a Chinese dragon kind of thing. Whereas like, all the people under the big paper mache things during like, the Chinese street festivals and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But he's creating one through toe holds. And you do all that and then you get something to drape like a dragon sound. That's the titular dragon of Dragon Sound.
That's where it came from initially when, everyone does this in Korea.
Yeah, and then
all the time.
The sound is people singing with their noses blocked, so there's like, man for eternity, no empty, no empty.
Right, we need to cover our own theme with that kind of a voice at least once by the end of the season.
I just remember that being in I don't know why it stuck with me so much, but then when we were doing research last year for Batminute and Robin, and it revealed like the first issue of Poison Ivy, where she has like all the pheromones and stuff to try to seduce Batman. She's not like a music. The original Poison Ivy was just a lady with a plant motif.
Yeah.
And then eventually I think she worked in like a chloroform kiss towards the end. But it was like all over her lipstick. And the reason like she didn't get knocked out herself is because she had like a little like nose plugs in. And so the whole thing, you're sitting going like, so she's sitting at the end going like, yes, kiss me, Batman, you're so sexy. Like,
that was like Arnold Schwarzenegger with the cold.
Oh, Mr. Freeze, it all connects.
He is cold.
He is cold. Oh, he was cold, baby. He left me cold to your pleas of mercy. Mercy.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So the best moment of that whole movie is just him going, mercy. It's like minute 3 or something.
Yeah, it never recovered from that. It never got back on. We've got 2 things here that I need to bring up. One, we've got the taekwondo, whatever you want to call it. So you have to take a drink.
Yeah.
A confused swig, it says. And he mentions Dragon Sound. Take a drink.
Yeah.
Lovely jubbly.
So you said you listened to this, or you watched this with the closed captions on.
Yes.
There's a line, I don't know what he says. It sounds like he's saying urgent. And I don't know. It's before he says, like, taekwondo is best. But
which I need to talk about in a minute, because that's absurd.
But what is he? What is the full monologue? Like, it helps dragon sounds stick together. Then he says something like the urgent, and then like taekwondo is best. And I was like, I don't know. I'm sorry, man. I didn't catch what that was.
I will just have a look for you. So, yes, Uncle Song, I know what you mean. And I know what taekwondo is all about. It is a way of life. It makes dragon sound stick together. To be strong and gentle. Taekwondo is the best.
So he's saying, there's no way he says to be strong and gentle.
That's the subtitle.
It does not sound like he says that at all in the film. And again, too, I feel like I think it's just more of a problem with, like, I don't know if the sound or the enunciation, because, like, I know obviously YK, he's speaking this as English as a second language, but again, in the next minute, John's saying things where I was like, ah.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of it isn't actually a language issue.
Yeah, I think it's just a sound issue. Like, ironically, the dragon sound was not there. But
they only did the good sound for the gigs. But right, yeah, my problem. Taekwondo is the best.
Yes.
Right? I love all the messages he's saying here, sticking together, all this. But isn't it a bit of a contentious claim to just go, Taekwondo is the best? I'm sure lots of other martial arts practitioners would be like, hold on a minute. What are you saying?
Yeah, but I mean, that's the same of any salesman, really, isn't it? Just to be like, oh, our vacuum cleaners are clearly the best. They're much better than Henry Hoover's, That's what you do. You throw the competition under the bus. I don't mind that.
You're saying all these nice things about martial arts, though. I thought he would want to bring unity and peace across styles and things.
I interpret it more again that it's like this is Saturday morning Power Rangers level dialogue. Like it's again almost because the movie is so confused about like it's got R-rated 18 certificate level violence. That is completely inappropriate for kids, but yet there are several scenes where it feels like this should be a children's TV show. So him going like Taekwondo is the best. It's kind of like, hey kids, like it's got that kind of energy of like he might as well have a bunch of kids up on stage with him that he's teaching to play, to play karate, Taekwondo. It just reminded me of that Father Ted with Mrs. Doyle going on about Pat Mustard, and it's like, he went out with Marilyn Monroe, and he taught Elvis to play karate.
Play karate. Oh, Jesus Christ! You know what? I wonder if this would maybe have succeeded more if it was geared to children.
I think it would have. I think that would have been. I don't know if it would have been a hit, but I think it definitely would have been found a more forgiving audience if it wasn't like. Yeah, ninja stars going through people's eyeballs on screen.
Yeah, get rid of all that.
Yeah, but then also, like, here is literal, like, I don't say propaganda, but basically an advertisement, in previous minutes of, like, this is a Taekwondo tutorial and showing you what you could do if you join our dojo.
And why it's a positive thing for your child, essentially.
Yeah. So it just feels like, at least Karate Kid knew what it had kid in the title, for God's sake. You knew who it was going towards. But this, I feel like this was a bit mixed up in terms of like, we wanted to create like a crazy, like action falling out the ass level kind of, but also then, it's I don't know, maybe YK Kim's like the reason his dojo was so successful is like, well, I looked up marketing, but all the marketing he looked up was for selling it to kids or something. Yeah. So he's applying that same thing to the movie of going like, this is how you sell to people. You do things like this. It's like, that's how you sell to small people, man. Like not people, fully grown adults here to see blood and guts and stuff. But,
well, I think it works.
Yeah.
Claiming it's the best. Bit big-headed. You don't need to do that, Mark. Come on.
Yeah, well, he's not just a master, John. He is a grandmaster. So
that's true. Well,
so does that make Uncle Song a great grandmaster, or is he just also a grandmaster?
again, I don't know if the character's a Grandmaster, Mark. We know YK Kim is.
Yeah, that's true.
Is Mark. I don't know. I think Uncle Song possibly is, with our theory that he trained him.
Yeah. I feel like because, again, YK Kim is very proud of that title as well. Like, everyone associated with the movie always refers to him as Grandmaster Kim.
Yeah.
Like he makes you call him that.
Even on the commentary with him sat there, they refer to him as the Grandmaster.
Yeah. That's a bit, which also a bit big-headed, It's a bit
I
like
think
that,
it's supposed to be a respect thing. They're choosing to call him that.
We might brought it up before, but it reminds me of in Seinfeld, that guy who's the conductor, who just like hangs out with Kramer I think he goes out with Elaine for a while, and then he's hanging out with Kramer for a bit. But he always has to be referred to as the Maestro. And they're like, yeah, then they call him like, oh yeah, Bill, and it's like, no, it's Maestro. And it's like, why? It's like he's so into being a conductor, it's his whole big deal. So he's just like, no, you refer to me as Maestro.
Jesus Christ, it'd be like if we called our friend Dave Chef.
Yeah.
Yes, Chef.
I still have an inherent dislike of Ben Kingsley because he insists. I remember reading an interview with him years ago where he insisted that they call him Sir Ben Kingsley throughout the entire, like he was so into the knighthood. And I remember, I think it was like Empire magazine or something, when they were making a point of going like, fucking dipshit, and they just call him Sir all the time. Like it was very like, he was very much like, no, you will refer to me as Sir Ben, because I am, And that was like 20 years ago. And to this day, I'm still like, goddamn asshole. Kingsley.
Maybe they'd annoyed him, so that was his way of getting back.
I've seen him be nice in other things. I remember he's very game, and he's in The Sopranos as himself, and he's kind of game for making fun of himself in it. But that always struck me, like he's getting so big headed, and then like the same year, he was like the bad guy in the Thunderbirds movie. Like it's like, oh, you get on, like I know. Well, it'd be like, oh yeah, I played Gandhi. It's like, yeah, you're a white guy playing an Indian guy.
Yeah,
so you already got problems there, Ben. Oh, sorry, Sir Ben.
It is amazing that it's never really come up as an issue, as far as I'm aware, that he played Gandhi.
I think it is. I think it slowly is now, like more. Because I think a lot of people, Gandhi. It's not like like a classic in the way like Raiders of the Lost Ark is, where people are watching Gandhi every year. I think it's just a well-regarded classic movie that like cinephiles might watch. But I think over time people are starting to go like, wait a minute, like Ben Kingsley played Gandhi. I'm like, oh, Ben Kingsley Indian? Like, no. But like, so where's he from then? It's like he's just a white guy. Like, oh. But how did he play Gandhi? Sorry, like what? And then over time people starting to realize like, wait, this is like, it happened a lot sooner with Short Circuit, because people kept watching Short Circuit all the time, and it hit you in the face like a freaking ton of bricks, where you're like, wait a minute, that guy's not Indian.
Well, again, I've said something similar before. I don't wish to speak for all, Indian people, but Indian people I know all seem happy with it.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe that's a small group there to pull from. They've never complained, and they've all sort of had positive things to say because it's treating it with respect. But I think you just, much like Vasquez, you wouldn't do it now.
Yeah. I think they didn't even say in Master of None. I think, because that's, what do they call him again? The, Parks and Recreation guy.
Aziz Ansari.
I think he talks about Short Circuit, and he's like, oh yeah, he
talks about Short Circuit. Sorry, I meant Ben Kingsley.
Oh, sorry. Because I think he says about Short Circuit, he's like, yeah, that was the only representation we had. So it was like, at the time, everyone was like, great, yeah, fine, we'll take what we can get, sort of thing. So
yeah. And the same with Gandhi, from what my Indian friends have said, again, they don't speak for everyone. I'm sure there might be, maybe the general consensus is it's bad. I don't know, but they all seem happy with it.
Yeah, they're fair too. Like I'm laying into like I could watch him and like, oh, he's amazing in that film, but also I just don't like him now because he made these interviewers refer to him as Sir Ben and got really arsey around it. And like,
that is really pretentious. Like there's someone at my work who would always put in their email signature their qualifications. So I just started putting mine when I got my degree just to piss them off. It's like, okay, because they didn't have a degree.
Yeah. Oh, really? So, like, what was there? Was like Esquire? Like, what were they putting down?
No, it was like other things that they'd got, other qualifications like NVQ, and things like. And I was
NVQ,
like,
come on.
Like, well, I don't know if that was it. It was something like that, So I was like, well, I'm going to put my degree in there then.
Yes, I passed the 2-hour health and safety exam we had to do every 5 years.
I've put all of them on LinkedIn.
I think because I've been working from home for so long now, and I'm trying to apply for like jobs that aren't working from home. It's like, yeah, all those health and safety things, years out of date now. So I don't know what I guess if I went to work for a company, they'd do it for you. They'd go and make you take it again. But it is also like, can I put this down as qualifications? Like, I got it in 2009. And they're like, no, it doesn't count anymore. But yeah. So we. So what's going on? Like, not much actually does happen in the minute, because then after Taekwondo is best, we do then cut to long shot of the car outside, and Dragon-san slowly walking down towards it, and then discovering the worst origami I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my god, I never thought of it as origami. Also, hang on, have the boys changed clothes?
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
So the gig scene was meant to be the gig that night, and then they've changed again.
I guess they're up sweating their asses off. But they've changed into the gis on stage, so...
Oh, yeah, that's a good point, yes. But then, so they've got a third outfit.
Yeah.
Jeez, how big are their bags? I take what I'm wearing plus a change of clothes to gigs, and that's big enough. I couldn't take, like, fucking 3.
This strikes me again, too, because, like, John's wearing the outfit he wore at the start of the movie. Yeah. Where he was picking up Jane at the university and stuff. I think Mark's wearing the same. So this is clearly like, this scene was probably shot that same day. Where they're like, during the daytime, we'll shoot this bit. Because Mark looks like he's in the same outfit as well.
Oh, yeah, they all are, I think, yeah.
Yeah, and then they're like, all right, so sun's down, but hey, we got this nighttime scene we can do here now. No one will ever know. And then it's like, well, you established it. They were like, because John was wearing that hideous friggin' Two-Face shirt when he was going. Unless somebody like ripped it off his back and was like, dude, fashion police, we're taking you down, John.
They weren't allowed in the club dressed like that. Like, no, it's okay, we're going to change into gis. Like, yep, but you don't cross the threshold with that on.
But yeah, the implication would be like, yeah, they're going to Uncle Song's to load up, to get fed and watered before going to the gig. And then at the gig, they're in the gis, and then they change into, like, maybe they got really sweaty eating all the food. Like, there's so much MSG and stuff in Uncle Song's things that he's just like, man, you ruined me. They're just saturated with sweat afterwards. Like, that's why they're all shirtless on stage. It's like, just have to get the goddamn clothes off, man.
Hey, but you need it. MSG equals make shit good. Good old Uncle Roger.
Yeah. And then, but yeah. So we find out there is a Jeff's kiss of death to them is a folded up bit of paper onto the wheelchair. You think he would have like wrecked the car and like scratched it on the hood or something?
No,
like he would have gone.
He's polite,
It feels like he's supposed to be much more. But maybe in the script they were planning to do that, and they're like, "This is our only car. Like we're not."
Don't trash it. Don't trash it, please.
And then, the note is so, like what is it? It looks like it's kind of made like it's not a paper airplane. Although that would be amazing if it was a paper airplane that he just flung out his window. And then, like, you follow it the entire way through the streets of Yeah.
I like the idea, alternatively, that, he was doing this and Yoshito was watching and going, no, Jeff, I can show you origami. I can show you. He's like, no, let me do it. It's fine. I'll get it. And this is what he came up with.
Yeah, but what is it? It looks like it could be like a rocket. But it's just basically, he's folded the top as if it's like, like a little paper house or something. And then the rest of it's just all, like, it's like like a kind of a more triangular mushroom shape. Maybe it's supposed to be like an arrow or something. I guess. It's just such an odd way to fold the thing. Like, either make it something. Like, go for the full swing of having it be origami. I'm sure somebody on set would know a bit of origami. Or just have him, do something, put either a normal sheet of paper on the windscreen.
Yeah.
Or just have him do something else. Like, he's burned a trash can next to the car. and written it in fire on the...
Oh, now that would be awesome. He's drained all the petrol out of the car. He's written with it and then set that on fire.
Yeah, that's more the Jeff we know. That's how hardcore he's supposed to be. He's not like, I'll write a little thing with pencil, and I'll politely put it under the windscreen, going, would you mind coming down so we can have a fight? And
it's very rude of you to say that this is all Jeff's doing, because someone's left a love letter.
That's the only banter they have too. That was the same crap when Jim got his letter from his dad. Remember in the back, like, oh, someone's writing him a love letter. I think it's always Tom. It's always Angelo. This is this one bit of improv that he has.
That's the thing. These guys always with the banter. They're they think they're Rocky Balboa. But you know what? Rocky had more than one thing.
Oh yeah. Oh, Rocky's banter is always good. He was a good guy with words. Sylvester Stallone, natural writer. But yeah, imagine to get everywhere you go. Maybe that's why Jane and him broke up. It's just like, yeah, every bit of small talk. Every time we got a parking ticket, he's like, "Oh, someone left you a love letter, huh?"
Oh God, you said that yesterday.
I was like, "Oh, someone the waiter brought the menu, like, oh, this guy's giving you a love letter." Just shut up.
What would he do if someone did leave a love letter?
Well, the thing is that we are assuming that it is Jeff, but it could be a new gang. Like the paper cutters are in town.
That's why it's shaped this way. It's like an arrowhead, so you slice yourself on it.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's designed to hurt. Or it could be finally the Blade Runner crossover. They look like Mark's reading. He's just like, "You've done a man's job, sir." I guess you're through.
Oh my God!
Looks over and Edward James Olmos is standing across the street in a trench coat, looking at him.
Is Mark a replicant?
Literally any one of these people could be a replicant. I'd be like, I buy that. Totally.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is amazing. We've uncovered it. Maybe Uncle Song is a Blade Runner.
Oh, and that's why they had to take care of him. Like, yeah.
He acts a bit like an Edward James Olmos.
He almost is Edward James Olmos.
Yeah, close enough. He's got vibes.
I just imagine a scene though of like Uncle Song getting like chased across the top of the greasy shack he owns and stuff, and like Mark having to put like a little nail through his hand to stop himself from dying and stuff.
What? The end of this movie isn't too dissimilar.
No, maybe.
Could do it, yeah. Although Mark's response when they make that little bit of bants, someone left me a love letter, he just goes, "Shut up," which I thought felt a bit odd.
Shut up. Maybe he's just like, I'm not very good at reading, so shut up. Everyone's like, you're going to have to give me a couple of minutes here.
It's a bit like if you're ever in a car, and someone needs to concentrate, they turn the radio down.
Oh, yeah. No, I know a guy. He technically has a driver's license. I have not seen him drive in years. And the only time he ever did drive me anywhere, he had the radio off. And then when we went to put the radio on, I was like, no. And he was so terrified of driving this car. So what it was like, yeah, I got the test. I got the license. Now shut up and leave me alone. I'm never driving again.
That's all he wanted. Just to get it done.
Yeah, but it's just more like, so what was the point of learning to drive if you're not going to utilize it? It's just more like, it's just parental, pressure. And like his wife getting on to him about doing it. And he's just like, all right, did it. Fine, you happy? And
there you go. It's done. It's done.
But you're supposed to use it now. You're supposed to so you can drive the car. No, I'm never driving again. You understand?
Shut up.
Yeah. Well, now I do also want to see if YK Kim is on Cameo to see if we can get him to do the Tears in the Rain speech from the end of Blade Runner.
You know what? I would love it, but I imagine he feels he's above that.
Yeah, I know. I can imagine. Yeah, he's. I think he is like a multi-millionaire, right? Like YK Kim.
But not even just the money though. Like the respect he has for his art. It's like, no, I'm not sullying it with this.
Yeah, I'm not your dancing monkey kind of scenario. Yeah.
You never know though. I wouldn't blame him if he did it.
Yeah, I mean there are loads of people who you wouldn't think would be on Cameo who are on Cameo. So
Coolio was.
Coolio? I think Val Kilmer was as well, wasn't he? But I don't think nowadays, of course, but Val Kilmer can't really speak all that well, so I don't know if he's still doing it. But the same thing, he does speak through the electronic voice box. So maybe he is still on there. But
well, let me live on air have a look for you.
Let's say about any of the crew, like if Jeff is on Cameo, he's like, yeah. Well, for some reason he's like $200 or something.
Well, most of them aren't even on Twitter or anything. I've tried. I've looked them up. No, he is not on there. The closest it has brought up is someone called Kim Joy from the Great British Bake Off.
Oh, no idea who that is. So,
I do not know. I don't imagine if YK Kim's not on it. I can't imagine there's others on. I mean, maybe Angelo.
Angelo, yeah, he's the only because he does at least also have like albums and stuff out, so he's a bit more of a kind of celebrity. But then also, yeah, I can't imagine. Like, you think though, some of them would have tried to capitalize on it. Because I'm pretty sure like Greg Sestero and Tommy Wiseau were probably. I don't know. Tommy might take himself too seriously to be on Cameo, but
I reckon he possibly does. Yeah.
Yeah, Greg would do it. No,
Greg is on Cameo.
Oh,
yes.
definitely. Yeah.
Greg Sestero is there.
Lisa's probably there and stuff
you
too.
You can get a video for £45.
£45. I mean, yeah, I guess he is in demand, you know. But
well, I have used Cameo twice for my ex-partner, and the videos that I got were very, very good. I got one from Kimmy Robertson, and she recorded it. If I remember, sitting in the bath.
Oh, nice.
Not in the bath. Like, there was no water. She was just sitting in the bath.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which was pretty
so
much
if you want water in
brand.
that bath, it's going to cost you an extra $1,000.
Yeah, that's a different. That's OnlyFans. No, our Kimmy wouldn't do that.
No. Who was the second Cameo?
It was a drag queen. Who did I get again? Who did I get? Actually, no, I got 3. 2 of them were drag queens. One was Kimmy Robertson from Twin Peaks. So the drag queens were Tammy Brown and who else was it? Cheryl Hole. And they were good as well.
Yeah.
They all 3 of them put a lot of effort in. So I think the most expensive one I got was like £30, £35. But, you know, Greg, 45, I think for a unique present, it would be worth it.
Yeah, I can imagine, too, because he probably gets a lot of requests to do, like, lines from the room and stuff, and he's probably very, like, at this point of his life, he's probably a bit fed up with it, but he's like, well, if you're paying me, then by all means, yeah, I'll keep doing it. But the guy if I ever came into it, I was like, no. Why don't you talk about some of your time filming Puppet Master 9, Greg?
He would probably love that. Like, oh my God, yeah.
Oh, totally. That's what, always my thing. If I'm approaching any celebrities, like, go for the thing that nobody talks to them about.
Yeah.
So, Greg,
if he comes here again, which I'm sure he will, and we go see The Room again, take him like a Puppet Master DVD.
Yeah,
to sign.
Or just ask him about, like, although the thing is because he's in Bly Manor, like, really inexplicably, like, at the beginning, there's, like, kind of bookends to it. Where like it's Carla Gugino telling a story at a wedding, and then one of the wedding parties, Greg Sestero, and it's like, whoa, stop!
Wait a minute, why wasn't this advertised?
You can't do that. Like just throw him in willy nilly as if I don't know. And then it goes into the main story. Another random character, freaking Garth Marenghi is just there.
Oh like, yeah, you told me about that one.
Matthew Holness is just there, and you're like, no, sorry, stop. Like you can't just have that. But have him be like a serious character when I know him as like in a horror story, no less. When I know that he's an author, dreamweaver, and writer, you know.
Dean Lerner was also in that.
Yeah. But yeah, so but if I was, I'd be like, but if I was to talk to Greg Sestero about Bly Manor, I'd be like, oh man, it fucking sucked. I mean, you were good, you were great in it. I was happy to see you. You were like the highlight when you showed up. But
it was the suckiest show that ever sucked.
Well, it is. It's so bad. I think too, it's because it comes from such good stock as well. This is like Mike Flanagan's like, oh, Haunting Hill House, great. Bly Manor, terrible. Midnight Mass, one of the best things ever released on Netflix. And then he did that other one with the Midnight Society. And I was like, oh, that was okay, I guess. So.
I heard it was quite good. Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah. I mean, he's on for a win this time now. I think it might be like an odds and evens kind of thing. So this Edgar Allan Poe thing he's doing, the House of Usher, that could be on. That could be primed for being a real masterpiece. But I
you're
guess
never
we'll
going to
see.
have hit after hit after hit. It's gonna fuck up eventually. So you might as well just alternate.
Yeah. And YK Kim was just like, you know what? Miami Connection, let's just not even try to see if we can go for the hit next time.
Oh, bless him. This is a hit. This is our hit. We love it. We make fun. I've said this many times. We make fun, but we make fun with love.
Yeah.
Genuine love. Not being sort of sarcastic or anything.
No, it's nothing but love, baby. But yeah, I mean, I'm all loved out for minute 45? 45, right?
45.
45, that's it.
The only thing I'll say is in the gig shots, we do see Jane playing a guitar.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we do. Like, I guess when Mark's off doing his thing, you need somebody to play that fake guitar. Playing that real guitar.
I thought it was good to know that she is a full band member. And she doesn't just stand around when not needed or, go to the back or anything. They don't just wheel her out for the occasional vocal. It's like, no, you are in the group.
And she can play an actual instrument. It's not like tambourine duty, like Liam Gallagher. Whenever Noel's doing stuff on Oasis, like in the corner, Liam, get the tambourine. That's all you're good for.
Nothing wrong with the good old tambourine. It's a classic.
But no, the thing is, though, looking at it, it's like I don't think Jane really does play the guitar. Like I think she is just doing the YK shuffle up there.
Oh yeah, the actress. No, she doesn't play.
Yeah. But like, it could be a thing. It's like, we have to give the impression that like people might be asking, but if that guy's not doing the rhythm guitar work, then how are they getting this sound? It's like, no, Jane's playing his piece. And like not realizing that everybody's going to be like, that man clearly has never played guitar in his life. And all of this stuff is dubbed in. Like, we know that you're not playing live. So.
How dare you? How dare you? It's not Milli Vanilli.
But Miami Villawi?
Jesus Christ. On that low note, we will break the connection once more. Why don't you speak to us on all the socials? Facebook is the Miami Minutes Taekwondo Orphanage. Twitter at Miami Minutes. Instagram, Miami Minutes. Guess what? We're on Threads. Get us there. That's also Miami Minutes. And why don't you check out our network on TeePublic. There you go. Buy some merch. Sleepy Charlie Media. That's our network. And go to the Patreon as well if you want bonus things. And we will see you again in 1 week for minute 46. Shut up!
Listen to me!